Hey everybody, welcome to Surface Level, creating a community where Black and queer folks are fearless in thought and curious at heart. I'm one of your hosts, Damon, and today, Tony, Jordan, and I are discussing self-care through plant care. What are we doing to be more mindful this year? What are the personal benefits of becoming plant parents? This is Plant Queen. All right.
Yay. Yay.
So we made it over.
Yeah.
We made it over the hump.
We made it over.
That was 2021.
It's a new year. It's a new dawn, a new day.
It's a new attitude.
New year, same bitch.
Oh, well, funny
really?
you say that. So today we're going to play a game called New Year, New Me or New Year, Same Me.
Oh, see, I didn't even know that. Look at God.
All right. So in the new year of 2022,
Yes.
2022, this is our year or same me. I'm just going to wait this thing out. How you feeling about the year, Jordan?
It's always a new moment for me. I think, right? Y'all be doing the same thing every year?
I'm not that excited. I'm going to just wait it out, child. There could be a plague coming.
Wait, what out? To see how to see how it unfolds.
2022, this
Yeah,
is our, are
apocalypse
you one of
around.
the, this is our year girls? Or are you just like, we're going to see how this goes?
Well, I mean, I would like to be optimistic, and I'm going to say that this is my year. This is our year. So I'm gonna lean in that way because I think
on.
what you put out there into the universe, it comes back. So
What the fuck were you putting out the last 2 years that got us in
Well-
this mess, Tony?
Well, listen. The podcast has grown in just a couple years. Well, it's not even been quite 2 years,
All
like
right.
2 full years, but it's giving.
It's giving almost.
It's giving. It's
Giving,
listen,
is it giving what it was supposed to give?
it's giving what it's supposed to give.
All right. So new year, are you doing dry January or same shit? Where's the happy hour?
Well, I can't do dry you worry because my birthday is
The way that's set up, I can't do it.
my birthday is in January. It's coming up on the 16th. If anyone would like to, offer gifts,
You should do like an Amazon gift list or something like that. and
Put your
post it.
cash app on yours.
Yeah, post it in your.
Well, you never know.
in your
Listen,
bio.
I think I might do that.
Yeah.
Oh, and then I'll my new medium of revenue stream. I'll put a little feet post.
Oh.
With the Cash app, and then let the girls.
You don't need to give them all of that.
No, I do because I can make a lot of money that way. So I'm
Oh,
trying.
well, yeah, but after the transaction clears, not before, as an incentive to pay.
We're
well-
going to keep it moving. we gonna,
I'm trying to help with the business plan.
I'm not going to even, you don't get to answer.
What was the question?
You don't remember because you're running your mouth too much. All right. So new year, are you choosing mostly peace or is it the same you and people can still get their ass beat? Jordan?
I don't fight. So it's always peace over here. I mean, it's violent sometimes, but it's very passive
There you
aggressive.
go.
Yeah.
That's
It's
true.
corporate. It's corporate. Current.
And another thing,
I come in peace until I don't. So I think you have to take me to a place. But I initially at the onset, I come in peace.
okay, rat tat tat Tony.
Yeah. I'm not rat tat tat. You don't want rat tat tat to come out. What about you, Damon? Because
I said already.
oh, you said already. I figured that would be your answer.
Yeah, that's not changing. I don't think.
All right. So new year, are you going to read all the time or same you? Where's the Netflix?
Can I do a little bit of both? Because I do enjoy Audible.
She slurs.
So I'll listen to my books, but I definitely not throwing Netflix away.
I always set out to do less screen time, so let's just say that that's the goal. Is to minimize screen time and
It's
increase
what I
reading.
aspire.
I do. I aspire
you
to, putting my phone down and putting, turning the screens off. Especially, staring at that computer screen all damn day.
Yeah, it's true.
Okay. So new year, you want to make love or same you? Where the hoes at? Jordan?
I want to make love,
Girl.
with hoes.
You want to make love with the hoes?
Yeah, I mean, that's hard to say because
What do you aspire to?
I aspire to have fun and live my life. So maybe love will accidentally find me, but I think the other option is more realistic for
So
my
wait, it
2022.
was love, make love, or
Where the hoes at?
where the hoes at? Can I make love with my hoes like Jordan?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
I think that's really noble, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it. I say both of them.
Both of them.
Give me everything. New year, you're giving less on social media or same me. Let's make a TikTok.
I'm definitely. Oh my God, that's the mosquito. Did you see it?
I saw
I think I hit it. I think I killed it.
you didn't.
Oh,
It's gone.
yes. I see
Okay.
it.
Yeah, I'm doing more content, but more TikTok. I like it there. I'm doing less Instagram though.
Yeah, I'm doing the same amount of social. I'm not one of those girls that get carried away and just like, well, everyone takes a break, but like when it comes to TikTok, it's very involved, and I need probably your help, Jordan, if I
need
want to
a
ever
class.
go into that side. If I want to dibble and dabble,
There's like a low lift way to do TikTok. Everything doesn't have to be
an
super
hour production.
produced. Yeah, it's just a
I could
matter
do
of
that,
taste. Yeah.
perhaps, because I still want to
Okay.
stay with. I want to remain relevant. I don't want to be one of those old girls.
I'm the old
The
bitch.
girls just posting selfies on TikTok. I'm like, it needs to be a video. When I see those, I'm just like, why are you posting pictures on TikTok? It
Yeah.
needs to be moving.
I think me not liking TikTok is like the beginning of me becoming one of those old people that doesn't know how to use technology. I'm that person. It's happening.
I see that. It's not just you. I see a lot of that going on.
David, you're out of touch.
Don't matter. All right, New Year. We're hitting the gym or same me. I'm gonna lay down for a nap.
I think I'm gonna hit the gym, but then I end up laying down for a
That's why
nap.
the resolutions don't make it past January 15th.
Yeah, I'll go to the gym here and there, but
Every now and again.
every now and again.
Jordan.
I'm going to the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go to the gym. I should be out of this fucking boot.
You working on your fitness?
I'll be out my boot. So yeah.
Okay.
And then finally, New Year. You're caring for your plant babies, or same you, they may die.
Well, they always die. So I have very little faith in myself with these plant babies. And that's, they never really grow up. So they always just die as babies as well. So
Yeah, well, hopefully today we learn a little
very
bit,
morbid, but
something on how to, maybe I'll be inspired to keep something alive. The hope, that's what counts. Hope is where the heart is.
I aspire not to kill no more plants in my house. Right now, I got a whole lot of empty pots. But anyway, we're gonna get into a discussion around mindfulness, some care, and things. That's how we want to kick off the new year. So we're gonna start here.
Okay.
The plant moms and dads trend or something that's here to stay.
I go back and forth. I think people like to think that they're a plant parent. And I think they do it because it's like the thing when you're an adult, you're like, oh, let me get, I'm not going to get a dog. I'm not going to get a cat. I don't want children. So let me get this plant. But it's like you get the plant and then they die. So I do want to read a little something to you girls.
Here she goes.
oh my goodness.
It's time for the segment.
We're starting the scriptures early.
We're starting off quickly because this is important and it's relevant.
You will
We
not
need to-
rip
so-
that postcard
We're gonna
around
add
like
this
that.
segment to our Instagram content.
So listen to this. A survey that I found said that 70% of millennials call themselves a plant parent, while 67% of them say that it's tougher than they thought it would be, and 48% of them say that they are unsure they'll keep the plants alive. So what this is telling me is that
We just spend the money.
that I just need.
they do it for the clout. Like the girls want to be what they see, but they don't really. It's a trend for a lot of folks, I think. What do you think, Jordan?
I mean, so I can speak about my experience. I think I obviously, not obviously, but I got my first plant because, I was attracted to the aesthetic of, having a plant in the home. I see how plants sort of transform a room.
Yeah.
I've seen people post about it. And I was just like, you know what? It'd probably be really cute if I had the same thing in my apartment. And then I got the same thing and it was fucking flies everywhere.
See, this is what I mean.
There was, what's that damn book called?
Lord of the Flies.
Yes, that's who I was. That's who I was for a while. And I had to give up Bridget. I think
She gave somebody the plant
no,
full of flies.
The plant died because you named her Bridget.
she was thriving. I think the flies were helping. They just weren't helping me. So yeah, I realized then that there was a lot of work that was required to be a plant parent. So I haven't really decided to go back to that outside of like the bodega flowers. I'm not ready for the big commitment of a plant, like a big plant again.
Yeah.
Because I'm traumatized. So
Okay, so
Yeah, you went all in and got the big kahuna.
yeah, it got really big too. I'm really proud of that.
it did get big. What's your relationship with the green thumb? So not so existent these days.
Oh.
Well, I just now started, when I go to the bodega, I just now started requesting that they put that little powder pack with my flour so that I can sprinkle that into the water, because I did not know that that's why my hydrangeas were dying in a day and a half. I was like, oh my God. I was like, why would these plants die overnight? Like, I used to bring them to the, when I used to do house functions, I used to put hydrangeas out. I'm like, they'd be dead the next day. And I'm like, oh, you have to put that little bag in there.
Mm-hmm.
So
I'm not doing so great.
that's my green thing.
I have somehow managed to almost kill a snake plant.
See.
Which
well,
is
those are like bulletproof, right?
It's like the equivalent of killing Thanos. Like
Snake plants are bulletproof.
but you literally could set it ablaze and it would survive.
Well, listen.
And it's been there for like a year, and then all of a sudden it just started to get limp.
They gave up the
And
ghost.
it's
Oh, that's
falling
sad.
apart.
Well, see,
What
I don't
did
know.
you
I don't
do?
know about green thumbs. I have a couple brown thumbs. But I'm dressed for the occasion.
Oh,
so
and the bird, is that a bird of paradise?
this is a weed plant, probably.
Child, that is not a bird of paradise.
It's not. It's the bird of paradise when it blooms, right?
No.
All right. Well,
gonna-
that's why I don't have a green
You had a
thumb.
bird of paradise in your house.
I
and
know,
you
but the
don't know-
ones in tropical settings, they do a little bit more razzle dazzle than the ones in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ain't never seen a bird of paradise flower?
Yes, it don't look
like
They
that.
don't
I
look like that.
like this.
All right. Well, we don't have to. I don't. We don't gotta keep talking about it.
So then what? This episode, obviously we're talking about plants, but a lot of it is around more mindful things we can do for ourselves in the home to set the year off right. So what are some things you guys are thinking about to be more mindful and take better care of yourself going into 2022?
So, as Mother Maxine Waters so eloquently
Grandmother.
Maxine Waters so eloquently said, I'm reclaiming my time. For me, I only want to do things, and I say this a lot, that spark joy. And if they don't spark joy, then I got to move on. I got to move on quickly, and I got to make that decision quickly. And also, I say this, but I'll say it again. Don't spend major time with minor people. So like you girls, you're major.
I was like,
That's why I'm sitting with you.
Mega.
You're mega. You are the moment. Okay. But like, we can't be doing all these one-on-ones with all these people that just want to hang out and like, at this big age, we're not doing that. And then also the last thing I'll say is taking mental health breaks. Like, take that day off. When you feel like you just need a moment to reset, it don't just have to be on the weekend when you're off. Like, it could be Wednesday, middle of the week, just because that's how that's your business.
Right.
So,
Jordan.
You actually said a few things that I was thinking about saying. One is like, being a little bit more comfortable with telling people no, because I am literally dying from let's catch up fatigue.
oh,
The text message you get where it's just like, oh, let's catch up. And then it's just like $100 and 6 like gin. Well, not 6, but like, just like after dinner
said it right.
and all of that. No, it's not what it's, I give the girls a limit, but like, it's just becoming like my weekends are like so overbooked, and it's really unfortunate. And I hate it actually. So we need to, it's
Probably
just,
listening to this like, I hung out with Jordan last weekend. That feeling's gonna be hurt.
it's okay. I
well, that's
figured it out.
good. Use this platform as a
Cancel service
soundboard and a megaphone to tell these girls.
Let's FaceTime. It's free, and we can do it in 30 minutes. And I don't have to go out of my house, and then like it's just too much.
So virtual hangouts.
I would love that. I would love that. Let's get back to that true pandemic way of communicating and camaraderie. I also will say, like, not necessarily journaling, but something that I started doing towards the end of the year was just like writing down things that I want to accomplish. Not a to-do list, but like just things that I want to see for myself. I guess like the girls call it like manifesting or something like that, right?
Tony said it's not real if you don't write it down.
Oh, right. So we're manifesting in 2022. And then just like I said earlier, like less screen time, just trying to be like a little bit away from, the screen.
Love that.
But that's it.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there's more, but that's all I care to share right now.
Demo.
I want to create more. Just do more artsy stuff, paint more, draw more. I think
An artistic queen.
but it brings me a lot of joy. I like the idea of manifesting something physical out of yourself. I find really interesting.
Yeah.
And
Wait. I just got a whole.
I bet you did.
I visually went somewhere as well.
Manifesting something physical out of you. Got it.
Yeah,
I like to
it's
do
just
that.
like something that's
Very
an
meta.
idea that becomes a painting or something you touch or a performance piece or whatever it may be. I find that to be really interesting. And I think I did a lot of it in 2020 when I was going through a lot of things personally, but I want to figure out creating things not just out of pain and trying to like deal with that and figuring out what happens when I'm in a better place in my life and I want to produce things or whatever it may be.
Absolutely.
So that's what I want to do more of.
Love that. Love that for you.
Child, let's talk to somebody else now. I'm sick of y'all.
Yeah, I think it's time to, bring in some more joy to the table. So it's a good time to introduce our guest. Today, we're excited to bring you someone straight from the plant scene. They're the one, not the two. And if you look it up in the dictionary, green thumb, you'll find a sickening photo of them. They are a gardener, educator, LGBTQ activist, and beyond all of that, they have one of the most infectious vibes that you'd ever want to surround yourself with. So today, we welcome Christopher Griffin, affectionately known as Plant Kween, to our surface level family.
Woo.
Yes.
Welcome.
Hello.
So
Thank y'all
happy
for
to have-
inviting me.
Thank you for coming.
Of course. No, this is such a pleasure. Y'all energy is everything. So it's an honor to be here.
Well, we're really happy to have this conversation with you. But before we dive into the interview segment, what we typically do is a game of this or that, just so that the listeners and the viewers
Yes.
can get a sense of your personality.
Ooh.
So, city vacation or beach vacation?
Ooh, beach. Darling. Get the sand between my toes.
Yes.
Coffee or tea?
Ooh. Well, that depends on the mood. I'm going to say tea. I'm trying to cut back on the coffee, but we always need a little occasional little caffeine trip.
A little pick me up.
Little pick me up shimmy.
Be cherished or be respected?
Ooh, be respected, child. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rekindled friendship or rekindled romance?
Ooh. Well, I'm a romantic at heart, so I'm going to say rekindle romance right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Split the bill or take turns paying?
Can they just pay?
Period.
Let them pay, child. Please.
Meditate or exercise?
Ooh, meditate. Yeah. Exercising is painful.
Stilettos or pumps?
In
the club.
Oh, my. Ooh. I'm going to say stilettos.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say stilettos.
All
Even though
right.
she's wearing pumps right now.
See the future or change the past?
Ooh. I'm going to, change the past.
Interesting.
Yeah, change the past. The future, let it be, let it be a little adventure.
Yeah.
Change the past, yeah.
And lastly, what are you curious about?
Ooh, just in general?
Just in general.
Where life's going to take me. I feel like there's so many different pathways that I'm on right now. A lot of different adventures and journeys. And I'm very curious about where it's all going to take me. Yeah.
Nice. Love that. So, we're going to start here because I think it's important to just get a little foundation. So, you're an educator, Chris, but you're also a plant enthusiast.
Yes.
Love your Instagram.
Thank
That's
you.
how we found you, and it's everything. So, go look up Plant Kween on Instagram and catch your life. But we want to know what your mission is. Like, what do you think for yourself is your personal mission in life?
Yeah, so there is a quote by Dr. Maya Angelou. And it says, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive and to do so with passion, some compassion, some humor, and some style."
Love that.
So I did a little shimmy. Y'all can't hear that. But yeah, I think my, as a person, it's really to just enjoy life, to surround myself with a community of folks that love and see me for who I am and vice versa, to share in the wealth that is our life and just build and grow with each other.
Yeah.
So as a person, I feel like that's, my mission in life. As an educator, I truly believe that when you know better, you do better. So, my journey as an educator really started with I just had I was really good at school. And being able to navigate that in a way that brought me joy. I'm a first generation college student. And so my profession as an educator really started when I went to UPenn for undergrad and started a summer mentorship program for West Philadelphia public charter high school students of color. It was basically a program, and hopefully the folks who are there are listening to me. But it basically was a program where they kind of just like jump-started these students who were mostly first-generation college students and were putting them in professional schools. And it was like, hey, experience this for like a month. Dentistry, veterinary medicine, design. I'm like, child, y'all exposing them to these kids to all this amazingness and these pathways, but they don't even know how the hell to get here. Like how is this sustainable for them? How is this realistic for them? So I mapped out like a little proposal, like, hey, these are the things that we can do to like get these students there. Ended up getting funded by the vice provost, and it's a program that still exists. And so for me, it's always been paying it forward and really just being the person that I wish I had when I was younger. And so that's like my journey as an educator, just sharing anything that's been helpful for me and just passing that knowledge on as a storyteller.
Okay.
As a plant enthusiast, that really started with my grandmother, and I really love listening to y'all and like, the plant parent, in y'all and all that stuff. That was really fun. I was like, I can help. There's no green thumb. That's a myth.
Got a couple brown thumbs over
Yeah,
here.
and I mean, even in that language, right, is rooted in like racism, right? Like the idea of that a brown thumb or a black thumb is something that's bad.
Right.
Child, I have 2 black thumbs, and they are fabulous,
Yes.
right? And so even like diving into that, but that's like critical race theory, but we're not going to get into that. That's another episode. That my plant journey really started with my grandmother, and she was the original plant queen. And at a very young age, she knew that I had a magical queer flair to me. My parents didn't know how to deal, but my grandmother knew just what to do.
Yes.
And so she took me under her wing, and she grew up on a farm with my great-grandmother. My great-grandmother ran the farm. They grew their own food. They had their own animals, and it was just something that was just really natural for them. And so she brought that to Philadelphia and passed it on to my mother, passed it on to me. And I bought my first plant in the summer of 2016. I still have that plant. She's thriving.
What?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I do.
I wasn't expecting that.
Yes, I do. She is lovely. I'll show y'all pictures after.
You are not the plant queen.
I was not confused about that at all.
And so that kind of just grew into a journey of me just exploring. I don't know. Again, the educator in me. I feel like the Plant Queen journey has been like a university of classrooms where each plant is like a classroom where I get to explore and learn. But yeah, as the plant enthusiast, it's really just diving deeper into seeing plants as decoration, but pathways to learning about yourself, and pathways to being really present in the moment.
Yeah, well, let's talk about it. Because it's said that plants come with a lot of benefits. They bring joy to our brains during chaos, and they promote mindfulness. So I read up, just preparing for this episode, about the benefits of what
Come on, research.
that come with
research.
being a plant, mother.
Hello.
But I want to know, what are some of the things that people don't know that they might receive? What are some of those benefits that are just people might be unaware of that they get from being a plant parent?
Yeah, so there's some physical aspects. So plants are air purifiers, right? So they take in carbon dioxide, they release oxygen and moisture, which is just great for our bodies. There's been some NASA studies that have shown that there are particular plants that suck out toxins from the air, which is great, but there's no scientific significance around how many plants it would take in order to really do that would benefit. So, that's me being the nerd that I am. I was just like, y'all saying this, but like, how many plants though? Tell me how many plants.
You gotta fill up that whole room.
Like, I
Fill
need
up
to
the
know.
whole room.
So there's those aspects in terms of the plants just doing what they do and creating an environment that's just healthier for our physical presence. Then mentally, there was something, there was a little study that was done in 2018 that said simply viewing plants can reduce stress, fear, anger, sadness, blood pressure, pulse rate, and muscle tension.
Listen.
Hello. I was like, woo, child. I was like, okay. I was like, woo, that's great. But I think for me, in my experience as a plant parent, something that I've been trying to practice is something called mindful gardening. So, when we think of meditation, we think of like being still and closing our eyes, crossing our legs, and doing something with our hands. But meditation can be whatever helps you feel fully present in your body. And for me, it's gardening, right? It's moving about, being present with the nature that I brought into my home. And so what I found while, bringing my first plant into my home was really around like commemorating the memory of my grandmother. What I wasn't expecting was an analysis of how my body was feeling when I was caring for them. There's a particular day when I was growing, the plant family, and I was like, this feels good. But then it started feeling like a chore. And I was like, ooh, child, I got 20 plants in here. I got to water each one of these. Ooh, to keep them alive. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And so like, I was like, oh my God, this is causing me some stress. I was like, this is not supposed to be the purpose. And so I was like, well, child, I'm worrying about if they got enough water. Did I drink water? Did I hydrate my body? Let me pause. Did I step out into the sun and let the sunlight touch my body? Right? Did I give myself the fertilizer that I needed in order to spread my roots? Right? I'm so concerned about these plants, but like, what about myself? So I think there was a moment of self-realization where I was like, well, darn, the same things that I'm doing for these damn plants, I need to be doing for myself, child.
Hello?
So I think there's like an exchange where if you pay attention and you allow yourself to be in the moment with what you're bringing into your space, it allows you to just dig a little deeper into yourself, right? But I think, some of the things that y'all, were talking about is that it's a lot of, surface level things. Hello, come on, branding. But yeah, there's a lot of, people just looking at the surface. I'm like, dig a little deeper, like take the time, right? And even the trend with plants rooted in capitalism, and y'all wouldn't even believe the things behind the scenes that happen in the plant market. It is shady.
The drama.
The drama.
It's the drama for me.
Ooh, the audacity. It's a lot. But I think you just need to pause and just like, you brought something into your home the history of plants, they're so much older than human beings. They've been around for so much longer, and they exist in a harmonious way that humans are striving to be, failing at, honestly, but are striving to be. So like, learn the lessons. So yeah.
No, it's interesting to hear you talk about getting this from like your grandmother and that history, because I was watching this video by Nelson Sepequeño. He runs a social media page called Black Men with Gardens, and there's like this group
Nelson?
interview.
You
Yes.
say Nelson? I met Oh my God, I love Nelson.
But one of the things he said that I thought was really interesting, he said that one of the hindrances Black people have in getting into gardening is the negative connotation of working the land due to the history of this country. And he was saying that his work is around removing stigma. And he was saying that as Black people, he was like, we were brought here because we were good at working the land. And now we don't want to do it. He was like, if we wanted to get invested in that again, he was like, we could own the cotton farming industry and so on. So what thoughts do you have around Black people that feel that level of apprehension to working the land or getting involved with gardening in that way?
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that question, so I had to do some research. I was like, hold on now. Hold on. Because I think, for me, gardening has always been something that's a source of joy, right? And that's what my grandmother taught me. But I think, the experience of, Black folks in America, the experience of gardening, indoor gardening, has had levels, right? And some of that includes trauma. So she's going to read something. So the environmental trauma that Black folks have experienced in outdoor settings throughout American history, starting with the transatlantic slave trade, we're beginning in the 15th century, all the way to current factors, like a lack of representation for Black folks across market, has birthed a false notion and cultural misconception that Black people don't have a connection to nature via indoor and outdoor green spaces. Child, and if we know anything about white supremacy, right? Woo, child! It distorts, right? It whitewashes and it erases. And so I think our African ancestors and indigenous community, and she gotta say this, especially in the indigenous communities of the land in which we sit on, which is Wappinger, Munsee, Lenape, Canarsie, and Manicock peoples, right? So of the New York City land that we currently occupy, have always had a beautiful connection with nature, right? With land. And so I think it's important that we remember that, right? And so, again, for me, the connection with the actual land is complicated, right? Okay. And there was actually a study that, and we all know what redlining is, right? And so there was actually a study looking at the demographic of neighborhoods based on race and the amount of greenery that exists in those spaces. And obviously, you can predict that in whiter neighborhoods, there's more greenery, right? And browner neighborhoods, there's less greenery, right? So it's systematic, right? And so I think when we see Black folks particularly reconnecting with nature, I think it's a beautiful thing, right? And obviously, I think it's important to acknowledge the trauma that may come up, but I think it's important that we remember the history of how things started, right? And that the beginning of that journey was something really beautiful. And so I think Black folks bringing nature into their home is reconnecting themselves to that beauty, to that origin. So that's what it is for me.
Yeah. Inspire the girl.
But really though, it's just important that we go back to where it started. And the beginning was really beautiful.
Yeah.
So while we're on the topic of identity, I want to make a small pivot.
Oh, come on now.
So you identify as a Black queer femme, and you have an amazing sense of style. And I'm just curious, along your journey, what type of challenges did you experience?
Ooh, child. Well, before, I came out as non-binary, I think I've always transgressed gender norms. And so for me, transphobia has always been very real. And that's, in the form of bullying, where it's like, why you walk like that? Like, girl, mind your business. Let me walk. Let me stride. Damn. Can I live my life?
That's the right response.
That's
girl,
literally what it's given.
Like, seriously. Like, girl, are you mad? Like, I don't understand. To, street harassment. And, you know, I've been lucky that I haven't experienced physical violence, but that's not always the case. So, you know, 2021 was actually, again, let me bring out the research, honey, because, you know, got to educate the girls.
We love the information.
Hello. So in 2020, the HRC, the Human Rights Campaign, tracked 44 fatal violent incidents against trans, non-binary, and gender-expansive people, making it the most violent year in history. And then in 2021, there were, I think 2021 has actually been the most fatal. So with 45 incidents reported. And these are incidents reported.
Right.
That's just like, I mean, can you imagine all the unreported cases of violence against trans, non-binary, and gender-expansive folks? And so for me, definitely been those interpersonal moments. But then there's also things, and this is where I think folks are unable to grasp, which is beyond me, but the systematic things, right? So lack of representation in terms of folks that look like us, look like me, right? So that's in sex education, that's in media, that's in curriculum. Ciao. I love the idea of learning, right? And it's I don't want to say sad. I feel like it's too pessimistic. It's interesting that we tie it to this westernized institution of education that we exist in, right? And that we have to navigate as children and as adults as well. Very expensive. Yes. And I think I don't know, it's sad that we only see learning sometimes within these institutions, right? But I'm just like, life is a classroom. I mean, we have so many tools and so much access to learn, right? That we don't necessarily need these institutions. I'm not going to say that too loudly, but, because, paying the bill. But yeah, so in terms of my experience, definitely like systematic, interpersonal dating has also been very interesting. I remember a moment, I don't do this anymore because I'm just like, child, y'all gonna have to deal with, I'm unapologetic. I'm gonna exist in my identity. If you can't deal, then girl, leave.
Right.
But I remember when, I would, be out in the dating scene, bring a person home, like, hey, what's up? And, I would hide like my heels. Like I was like, oh, let me just hide them because I don't know how they're gonna like it. So femphobia is also very real.
Wait, what phobia?
Femphobia.
Femphobia. Okay.
Femphobia is very real. And I think that's just a byproduct of the patriarchal society that we live in and the desire for masculinity, which is something that I'm currently working through as well. But yeah, definitely in the dating scene, people are like, oh, you're too much. Or it's like, oh, you're gonna out me.
It's like you're not
or
enough.
it's just like, child, like that's a sad reality for you, girl. But it took me time to get to that, right? It really took me time to be comfortable in myself and be like, girl, if you can't be with me, then you're not with me. So those are some of the things that I've experienced as a person. I can go on and on and on. But definitely interpersonal, systematic, and then the dating scene is just chill.
Well, we want to celebrate you because you use your platform and you use it to advocate for people who have a similar experience to you. And being that your platform has grown so much, even beyond social media, what does that mean for you? Like having this platform to be able to educate and inspire and motivate others?
Because that's what you're doing, girl. Skip the girl. That's why we wanted to listen. That's why I was like, we need to talk. We need to talk.
Did you get it?
No. I was like, it's inspiration, and everyone, it's giving. Everyone deserves to have a little inspiration, but you do a lot of that for people that find you.
Yeah. I think, as an educator, it's. I just find joy in sharing and telling stories. Obviously, there is intentionality behind what I do. My grandma was like, if you're going to do something, you're going to do it well. And I was like, yes, Grandma.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. And so, I mean, honestly, I never really saw social media as beyond friends, honestly. Like, when I first started, like, my personal Instagram account, it was just like, oh, child, let's follow each other. I'm going to show you my little stuff. You're going to show me your stuff. Yes, word! So I never really saw it as, like, anything beyond that. But there was a moment, actually, and I don't think I've ever shared this. There was a moment
Exclusive.
where, exclusive information, surface level podcast only. There was a moment where I had began showing my plants on my personal account, and like my friends were like, "Oh my God, like you're so into plants! Like teach me." And I was like, "This is so interesting." I was like, "Y'all, like I've never shared this information before, and now y'all see me as this person simply because of what I'm sharing." So I was like, "Oh." I was like, okay, so like social media can shape the way that people see you and, what they want to interact with you with. I was like, okay, this is interesting. So social media can be used strategically in ways to like storytell. Great. And then, I was, my ex-boyfriend, he was really into social media and I saw the way that he used it. And I was like, this is interesting. I was like, I'm gonna separate something. I'm gonna compartmentalize something. Let's do it. And so I, created the Instagram account. And honestly, I've been doing this since 2016. It wasn't until 2020 where folks were like stuck in their homes and they were like, girl, we need to I'm at home. I gotta make some magic with what I'm working with.
Yeah.
And I had actually just moved into my apartment January of 2020. So I was like in the process of like greening up my space. And for me, I was just like, I just want to share my journey. Like this is, as an educator, I just want to share the things that I'm going through and what I'm learning. And if it's helpful for someone else, great. But that's how it started. And then it just, I think, with the pandemic and honestly, with the Black Lives Matter movement, there was this interesting, what do you call it? There was an interesting increased visibility for Black creators, where, it was like 10,000 like a week. Like followers, and I was like, "What is happening?" I was like, "This is scary." Like, who are these people? I was just like, "What is happening?" It was beyond me. I was like, "Girl, I've been doing the same thing for like 4 years, and now everything, So, honestly, Plant Queen is a opportunity for me to share myself in a different way, to share my journey as a growing human being. But then also an opportunity to build community and to bring some color to like green spaces, right? But then also to bring conversations around what it means to exist in our Blackness, to exist in our feminist, to exist in gender fluidity, and put it all together, right? So that's what I could go on and on, but that's what the platform is for me. It's a source of joy. It's a source of creativity in a way that I never thought that I would have the opportunity to engage in. So I feel really blessed that the opportunities that have come my way are in front of me. And I'm like, child, I'm gonna have fun with this.
Yeah.
I have fun with it.
We love that. Well, we want to thank you so much for coming and joining us today and sharing this space with us, sharing this story, giving us an exclusive, a surface level exclusive. But before we do go, can you just let the people know where they can find you, what projects you have coming up, what is on the horizon?
Oh, yes. Thank you. So I'm mainly on Instagram. You can follow me at Plant Kween. That's Plant Kween, because queer folks are always queering up language. So follow me on Instagram. I am on TikTok. But child, that is a journey. So y'all can follow me on TikTok. I can't even remember the name of my TikTok account, but follow it on there. Find me. Hello. I also have a book coming
Congrats.
out. Thank you. It is called You Grow Girl, Plant Queen's Lush Guide to Growing Your Garden. It'll be available on March 22nd. It's already available for pre-order. It's if you are looking to green up your space and do so in a way that feels good for you, and you want to learn about yourself and your connection to nature, but then also experience a little bit of Black, queer, non-binary joy, then it's the book for you.
Yes.
Purchase it. Support a queen.
Yes. Well, the girl. Support a queen.
Hello.
Well, the girls are doing more reading in 2022, so hopefully, they support a queen. But that is all the time we have this week. This season of Surface Level is produced in partnership with Moby, Mobilizing Our Brothers Initiative. If you've enjoyed this episode, let's keep the conversation going. Let us know your thoughts and questions at surfacelevelpodcast.com. And remember, stay curious.